Welcome, everyone, to another episode of PCP Deep Dive, Season 2, Episode 2, A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. We are rocking out tonight all night long, like we are closeted gay men in the 80s.
God, this song is so good, though, guys. The song is the best, and the pop.
I got to admit, I like this song. It's
So good.
It's on my Spotify because of this movie, but it's not getting removed.
I think that's fair enough. You do deserve to be on like the E train, pissed off, and then all of a sudden this pops on.
That's right, and I could just hold me, and I could start, hitting homeless people with my butt,
Exactly, and they'll be accepting of it. It's fine.
As you would. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I am your host, Jason, guiding us on the nightmares and dreamscapes of the Freddy franchise, and with me, as always, the host who not only has the body but also has the brains. Ginny, how are you tonight?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. I love this movie. This is like my first, technically, my first Nightmare on Elm Street that I watched, like a majority of. So it's special to me. I love it.
And you hung around. Interesting.
Excellent. And my guy in the chair, the man who has already fixed 3 technical screw ups, and we are only gone 2.5 minutes. I'm not going to insult him by saying he's the gym teacher in this. I'm not going to do that.
Grady, at least? Grady? No.
Yeah. Well. The thing is, if Ginny is Jesse, then I have to be Grady. I did think this through.
Oh, all right. So I don't want to be Schneider.
No,
and you be Lisa.
Yes.
Be Lisa.
Fine. I'll be. Listen, Lisa's kick ass in this. So yeah, why
amazing.
not?
All right. So the Lisa of the group. That sounds terrible. But Ed, how are you tonight? And thanks for Tim. First time on the show. Thanks for joining us.
What's up,
Tim, you are definitely the dad because I see you as someone who walks to the house going, "It's too damn hot in this room."
It is too hot in this room. I already had the window. I cracked the window door. Listen, I hear grown men whipping high school children in showers, and I come running. That's why I'm here, and I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Your child's pet lights on fire, and you're like, knock it off.
Yeah, I'm like, stupid birds. All the birds' fault.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, this movie is something, huh? This movie is very special.
Very special.
All right, so I'm gonna ask Tim. I'm gonna ask you this just because you're new to this first time you're on the show, and we kind of answered this last week. What is your relationship to this franchise, the entire franchise of Nightmare on Elm Street?
I saw the first one on video cassette, of course. Wasn't supposed to be watching it. I was young. Watched it, loved it. I wasn't afraid. I mean, it was scary, the first one. Don't get me wrong, probably the only scary one in the whole franchise. But I fell in love with Freddy right away. He wasn't like Jason. He wasn't like Michael. He had personality. He liked to mess you before he killed you. He didn't just smash you into a tree or drive something through your chest or whatever. This movie came out. Okay, that was a good little left turn. But then as you got out onto the franchise more, the third one, the fourth one. I mean, if I come back on the show, I'll tell you the story anyway. But I'll tell you anyway real quick. The third one, me and my friend sat. Back then you could do it 3 times in a row. We watched Dream Warriors, didn't get up. Dream Warriors said, "No, you want to go one more time? Let's go one more time." Did it again for 3 and 4. So I love this franchise. I love Freddy. I'm excited to be here. I've been waiting to come on the show, man. Waiting.
All right, excellent. Hey, well, you're always invited, Tim. Ed, what is your what is your personal experience with or relationship to this particular one? Because we talked about the franchise last week, but with Freddy 2, what is your relationship?
I'm pretty sure this was I think this was the second one that I saw on same thing from I told the story last week about the older kid who across the street who lent me and Steve the VHS that he had like recorded. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we watched the first two one after another, and then we watched three, and that's kind of like when I was caught up on video. Yeah, I think like a lot of us, and we'll get into details more later, like I always thought there was something odd about this movie, but as like a 10-year-old, you would have no idea what the hell that was. You were just like, okay, Freddy's here, so I guess I like it. I don't know. Yeah, because you didn't really understand what the hell was going on otherwise. But yeah, and you're just kind of like, all right, it's a weird movie, but you were into it. I was just happy to see Freddy at the time. Like, you were just like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to see it. But then when I saw the third one, I'm like, all right, this is next level. This is perfection. Yeah, so I guess it was just like a weird, odd movie, and then I just accepted it because it was Freddy at the moment. But then as I got older and watched it more, I'm like, something's a little different here, and I still don't know what it is, but I can't put my finger on it.
So my relationship, because Ginny, I'm going to save you for last, because I know you. This is your movie. If there ever has been a Ginny movie in a franchise, it is this movie. Oh. But so my relationship to this movie, as I said last week, I was afraid as a kid. I couldn't watch these movies; freaked me out. And I remember when this one was on, it was either TV or cable a lot, and they would play a commercial, and the commercial always had the you've got the body, I've got the brains, and it always had Freddy jumping up in the pool. Yes. It was those two moments. So that's all I knew of this movie, and it terrified me up until I actually watched this movie for the first time when I bought the box set, maybe like, I don't know, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And so I watched it as an adult for the first time, and I went, well, that's unsettling, but not for the reasons it's supposed to be. But Ginny, what about you?
I kind of the same thing. I was like, I remember me and my twin sister were getting ready for a bat mitzvah. We like had the date set. We like remember exactly when it happened. So post Halloween, it was like November. It was like on TV. There was two of them. So it was Nightmare on Elm Street 2. And then 4 was like following up because I'm like whatever the syndication was. So 2, we caught like kind of the end, the good part. So like he was hooking up with his girlfriend and the cabana, pool stuff, dream stuff. And we're like, but then we were like we were so scared of Freddy as kids. I talked about that before. It was like we were like really paralyzed, and we're like 13, 14 now, so we could get over it. And we're like, actually, wasn't that bad? That's pretty exciting. And the next one came, which is 4, and I love 4. And we were like, wow, man, we can do this. And we go to the bat mitzvah that night, and we go, let's just go to the video store. Let's rent all of them. I think we can do it now. We're 14. Our parents like and are cool with it. And then we fall in love with the series and like fall asleep to them every night. But like, so that's kind of my story with this one, because it was the first one, but I didn't pick up because we're little, 2003. Like I didn't pick up on any of the homosexual vibes. Not really. It was just kind of like, it's the climax. So we got the climax of the plot. And then so I think that's kind of interesting. And then we rented it and we're like, it's a little weird and hilarious and like kind of brilliant. I watch it just as much as I watch all the other ones, though. Honestly, I really do. I watch it more than Dream Child, I'll say.
Oh, I would watch this over Dream Child any day of the week.
Yeah.
Because this has something going for it Dream Child doesn't, and that is an interesting underlying story and homoerotic subtext.
Coming of age story, truly.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just go. I want to just get to the plot real quick, just in case someone's tuning in and they've never seen this movie. Spoilers for a 40-year-old movie, right? 35-year-old movie. Yeah. It's been out for a while. But so we get Jesse is Ginny. Could we say right now he's the final girl?
He is. He really is. He's like one of the best in my mind. Final girls.
All right. So he's pretty much the final girl, and they move into Nancy's old house, and it starts off with a dream, which I think is cool. He's on the bus. If you're watching closely, Robert Englund's driving it, not Freddy. Robert Englund outside of the makeup, he's driving it. And then, kids get off, kids get on, then he drives them into fucking hell. And then they're like on a but what I noticed about this opening, I actually did not think much of it until this rewatch. And on this rewatch, I thought it was brilliant because if you watch it knowing that it's a dream, it follows like a dream. It feels like a dream. Like it starts off normal, you're on a bus, things get a little surreal, and then you blink and you are somewhere completely different with no knowledge of how you got there, but fuck it, it's a dream, we're going for it.
There was something I guess as many times as I've seen this movie, and it's been quite a few, I thought of this yesterday when I rewatched it, this is actually, for the scope of the franchise, the opening sequence of this with the bus is probably the first time we get like a kind of grander scale dream sequence, right? That like 3 builds on and 4 and like and everything like that. So this is kind of like, that thing. Because in the first one, everything's kind of like very closed in. There's boiler room. Yeah. There's little things. This did take that to the next level. So I will give this movie that it does kind of like open that door up for the sequels.
Yeah. That's a great point. It really does amp up the dream stuff, at least in this moment. And I kind of wish it would have done more dream stuff because this was an interesting moment. I really enjoyed the opening of this. And then, so Jesse wakes up, he goes to school. He's got this friend who maybe she's trying to make something happen. He's saying he's trying to make something happen, but we'll get into it.
It's a little wholesome though. She's like, we're study buddies, and I got a car. I'm gonna, he's new in town. It's great. I love it. It's so sweet.
So it's Jesse and Lisa.
Yeah, I don't really get any kind of like I'm gonna be honest, until the Cabana thing, I really didn't get any type of sexual tension between them whatsoever.
You're 16. You guys haven't been there, but I've been good with guys, and I'm like, oh, you're so cute and handsome. Oh my gosh, you're a little gay, aren't? And then later in life, you're all doing theater together. Oh no. That this all makes sense, but it's nice, and you're like, we can all hang out and go to Applebee's together constantly.
Well, what I'm saying from the guy's perspective, I'm watching it now. Obviously, it's a different lens now, right? But you're like, oh, yeah, this dude's totally gay. Like, there's no question about this at all. Like, what the fuck was I? Where was my mind the other 93 times I've seen this movie?
Yeah, it's like there's no chemistry, but they say it right. It's in the dialogue. Like Lisa is talking to one of her friends at some point, and the friend's like, "So did he make a move?" She goes, "No, but I hope he will soon." It's like, really, because that's not playing at all between you guys. Because I've seen more chemistry between 2 pieces of bread, and they are inanimate objects.
Well, I'll say it was sexual chemistry. Like otherwise, like I can buy them as totally. Like Ginny said, like study buddies.
No question. She has a crush on him. It's very sweet.
Yeah, and her girlfriend's always asking, like, oh, like, so did you do this, do that, do that? And she's
They're not Rod and Tina from part 1, or like, and he's aggressive and like she's into it, and then even like Johnny Depp and Nancy, they are very sweet kids, and I think that's probably why I liked it a little bit more than like Friday the 13th. I was like, well, no one's like. Everyone's nice. We're sweet. I don't know. We're not.
Oh,
they don't follow the horror movie rules that you come up
with.
Yes. They're not the promiscuous, drug doing typical teenagers in these movies. That's what it is.
This whole movie feels like a good back to school. No, maybe it's the back to school special from hell. Like I think a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Street feel like that. I love it.
Eat your broccoli, kids.
So could it be the lack of acting that kind of gives you that? I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
This is about Academy Award winners. And this one has the worst of the actors. I mean, Jesse is horrible. That's why I've never seen him again. So I mean,
well, I think there's more to why we haven't
Well,
seen Mark Patton again. But
yeah, like if you see Scream Queen, we'll talk about it. But he had a
Grady
rough
is
life.
like Grady does it like what's it? He does he's like Robert Downey Jr.'s best friend in like Weird Science. So you're like, oh, he had like charisma. He was
that was him?
charming. Yeah, and he talks about that in like one of those things where he's like Robert Downey Jr. Like they were like in that park. And then if you've ever seen Vamp, he's great in Vamp, but he's like a douchey like frat boy. But he's like charming. He's like funny. And I was like, but then like in Grady's like that actor is in a weird place. And I was like, and he's like so probably too natural to be like actual like a 17-year-old boy. So it stings. It's just like, and I was 13. I didn't care. I was like, oh, he's cute.
All right, yeah. So let's get into the kids then. Let's get into the kids because Tim, I agree with you about the acting. I think I actually found Lisa to be one of the worst actresses I've ever seen. Like I have seen Troll 2 more than once in my lifetime. So I have a large field for bad acting, right? Where like I don't even notice it. Like I go, brain blind. But Jesus, man, she in particular was the worst. I like the character though.
Oh, so do I.
She looks like Meryl Streep.
She does.
She looks like a redheaded Meryl Streep, and I don't know the nose.
But I think that's what made it worse for me because like I'm watching Meryl Streep if she was a wooden board, and like I want like Meryl Streep is one of the greatest actors of all time.
Friend is like, hey, like oh my gosh, Lisa, who really has a crush on you. She goes, Cheryl, no. I was like, it's very like, or she's like, they make a joke. I was like, one of my favorite moments is when they find the diary in his room, and she's just kind of like, Jesse, is this your stuff? Like that's very today. It's very today.
The sweaters go up here.
Do the sweaters go here? No, I said it with more charisma than that. It was like, sweaters go here.
Sweaters go up here.
Yeah. So he meets Lisa. Jesse, I would admit, I don't think he's the greatest of actors in this. I don't think he's a blight on it though. Like he's fine. Like the guy who plays Jesse. Like I wouldn't like honestly, if I'm pointing fingers, Lisa's fucking terrible. This guy's I actually think for what this is, I'm fine with him. Like honestly, without him, you don't get this cool homoerotic underscore.
For what he had to read and what he had to do, he was okay.
Yeah, right. It's not like he had much to work with. It's not like we're trying to watch someone do Shakespeare. This guy's got like lines like I didn't write any of them down.
Couldn't have played Jesse any better.
Right, exactly.
Dialogue is that bad.
Exactly.
Shut up, Grady. That's like kind of like he's like some sassy lines that I go like, well, that's not the way it's probably supposed to be said. What does he say?
He's a dude. It's like, shut the, it's like shut up, Grady.
And it's like shut up,
yeah.
Grady. That's the way I would say it. And then
when he puts the snake on him, like when he wakes up in class and he has the snake on, it's just like.
Yeah. My guy friends ever said it just like that to me. They were like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely would have sounded like more like Freddy, like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right. It's like, oh, you shut up.
No, I mean, Mark Penn's not like, he's not great in it, obviously. Whatever.
But he has some like moments that I loved. And I think like the documentary talks about like, I was like, I think you just had to find like, man, if you were just been like 10 years later in your life in the 90s, you would have been a better indie star because sometimes he was like, with Lisa, his like girlfriend, they don't have romantic chemistry, but they kind of have like he is making a little bit of her like more natural because it's just like the two of them in a scene. And she's like, oh, this is your address. And he goes, yeah, that's like right here. And I'm like, oh, you're charming. You're like sweet, but you're also just your natural like self, which isn't like a young, like Johnny Depp, heterosexual guy. You're kind of like, yeah, right here. Like, and you're like, even as like, take that. I think he is cute and charming, or like funny. Even with he's got great chemistry with Grady.
He's got great sexual chemistry with
Grady. Yeah, and Grady's giving it back. I love Grady.
I was actually gonna say, like, I can't imagine him and Grady hanging out at all. I'm sorry,
No.
like, not for 2 seconds.
No.
And I also think that the movie doesn't know. I think the movie doesn't even believe that they would be hanging out because, like, the times that they're together in scenes, those are the only times I think they see each other ever.
Do you think Grady's kind of the best actor?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
I don't think he's
100%.
terrible. I mean, he's not given great. Nobody's given anything really good to him.
But you know what? Jesse's the new kid. No way Grady to befriends that kid, the new kid. No way.
No, because
No.
Grady's like
Especially
Grady's like the jock.
This movie starts with it starts with Grady bullying him. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, he's the jock there, and I guess they try to describe Jesse as some sort of, because he has like a baseball bat and a helmet in his room.
Oh, is
so
that
I'm
why? Is there like he's kind of a jock?
Oh, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't buy it for 2 seconds, but I'm assuming that's why they placed those things in his room, maybe. But I guess he plays sports. I also have a hard time buying that too. And then they also play, by the way, and I was hoping Rick was going to jump on for this part specifically. They play the worst softball game ever.
Are you sure it's just not like an 80s and 1980s accurate version of softball?
There is no, the logic I try to apply to this of basic knowledge of baseball or softball makes no fucking sense in this thing. Especially like Grady tagging up from second and going to third when on a shallow fly ball. I'm like, fuck out of here. We're not doing this.
By the way,
Ed getting technical now.
No, I did because Rick said he was coming on, and I knew I was gonna fucking make him crack up with this.
I trust you. I trust you all and there's so much sports stuff. He's like, there's never been more sports in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie than this movie, right?
No, this is
Nice.
it. That is the end of it.
yeah, Ed, I'm glad that you're here for the for the sports tech stuff because I have no idea. And this is important, this is important. This is part of the tapestry of the story.
Jason, even not on Grannies, we have to ask the hard-hitting questions. And the hard-hitting questions for this film, not the gay subtext, none of that.
No.
Would Grady have tagged up from second to go to third on a shallow fly ball? No chance.
Accurate.
We don't know the score. We don't know the inning. We don't know the situation. We don't know.
Tim, if it was the first inning, it's not happening. It doesn't matter.
We don't know how many outs there are, what the situation is.
I don't think Grady knows how many outs there are in that situation.
Bad writing.
I think the writer knows that shit.
That would have been Ed on set. Whoa. Time
out. Listen.
Up second to third. And you turn to Ed and go, Ed, it's not that kind of movie. Move on.
Forget the intimacy coordinator. We need a sports coordinator.
Forget all that.
Coordinator.
Forget the fact that we got a gym teacher getting whipped in the showers with a fucking towel and his ass is bleeding.
Oh my God.
He's not tagging up from second base to third. Doesn't fucking matter.
All right.
I digress. I'm done.
No. That's a great segue because that's it. Those are the kids, right? And I think we can say that the kids are kind of weak, right? Like, at least that's my opinion. I think the kids are kind of the weakest
100%.
part. What was interesting about the first movie was each of the, we had that sort of, this is your star. No, she's dead. And here's Johnny Depp. And granted, he wasn't Johnny Depp then, but like, he's still good. Like they're characters. And for this, I kind of feel like, yeah, they're characters, ? But like, not strong ones. And I think for me, like, that I think is one of the weakest parts of this movie is just the lack of character with the kids, the lack of agency, the lack of the kids don't have anything to do except for run back and forth and, help each other with the gay subtext. And I'm not making a joke. That's literally all Grady is there for sometimes.
It is just, I feel like Grady and Jesse, like at kind of the end of the day, like those two almost like, I don't know, talking it out more. Like he has a girl, but she's not, unlike Nancy and Johnny Depp and Glenn, who are like, I have bad dreams. He's like, okay, whatever. And she's like, no, I need you to understand. I have bad dreams. Like they don't, Jesse and and his girl don't know each other well enough to talk about that till like kind of the end, and then it's like a little bit. Then she becomes the final girl, and you're like, that's weird, and like, why you just save him, which I get, and like you don't love him, you don't know him, like you can't say that, which he does say. But I was like, but Grady and Jesse, yeah, they're bonding, and he's like, oh, whatever, man, like grow up, like suck it up, and they are more intimate, or like even if it's just like a teenage boy thing of like, you know. Not even a gay, like, not even be gay. It's just like, you know, it's just they're connecting more than.
I do think that it's funny, Ginny, you bring that up because I do think one of the things that the choice to go with possession in this movie versus shared dreams amongst the friends group, that's kind of where it hurts. In this movie,
it's not a girl being stalked. It's just like
no, but not even like think about it. Jesse's having dreams about Freddy. Right, that he's constantly sweating in the middle of the night and has to keep walking around to find Freddy. Because that's what happens every single dream of his outside of the school bus is constantly him waking up in a sweat. Okay, fine. But Grady's not having the dreams. He has no fucking idea who Freddy Krueger is. Lisa has no fucking idea who Freddy Krueger is until she randomly decided to start doing some research and found the power plant.
I have never thought about that till this moment. Like they're literally not. They don't dream. They are not having the dream because they're not Elm Street kids. Why?
I don't know, but and I think that's where, for and whatever we can at any point we could dive further into. That's where I kind of think why this movie doesn't work is because it's so far removed from the rest of the franchise, and there are choices like this that the possession thing starts the process of why this movie doesn't work. It's just within the rules that Nightmare on Elm Street works within. This movie chose not to do that and tries to do its own thing, and it doesn't know its own rules. And that's one of the things that hurts it, is that nobody knows who the fuck Freddy is except him. Not the parents. The parents didn't, and that's another thing too. Like the parents didn't join in on this murdering of Fred Krueger. That never happened. So why is he fucking with Jesse? He kind of has no gripe with Jesse.
Yeah. So I always figured it was just that he, kind of like he was too weak to come back, so he needed a body. He needed Jesse. So I think I just always looked at it as they moved him to his house, the house where he died. Quotes.
Exactly. Did he?
Yeah. He was
the house he built.
Yeah, he was kind of maybe his spirit or something. Again, I'm making excuses for this movie, by the way. But he kind of like
doing a good job.
He's still in the house. They move in the house. Ooh, I got a nice. Am I going to pick the idiot father, the mother of the girl? No, I'm going to pick the teenage kid to possess. To come out to get going, get energy, get my. That's how I always try to make an excuse for it.
God, it is so weird though. Why? Why that like? Because the last victim was in that house. I don't know.
The glove was in the. That's another thing, by the way.
Yeah. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, so let's just say the glove is the reason he chooses this house, right? Is because that's where Nancy defeated him. Yes or no? Because we talked about the ending last week of the first one.
Yeah, right.
And they moved 5 years later and decided, you know something? All that shit went down. Let's leave that glove in the fucking base in the boiler again. Let's just do that and see what happens, just for shits and giggles.
Weird lore. It is weird lore.
It is. It's just so bizarre when you break it down. Like this movie is weird.
Dumb enough to buy this house. Leave everything in there. No one's dumb enough to buy the Krueger house, whatever.
Or no, but I'm saying like so the father and Nancy are the ones who moved out, right? Because the mother died. So they were kind of like, hey, let's just leave the glove in the boiler right where this whole thing went down. Nothing's gonna happen. We're not gonna get rid of it. Nothing. Let's just go away.
Barely an inconvenience.
Yeah, it's just no. And Freddy Krueger shouldn't be attached to this house.
Well, that's where he died.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, I kind of can see what Tim is saying. Like, all right, I died here, but again, we have to assume he died there, which the end of the first one does not confirm. But hand wave that, okay? They clearly they I don't know, maybe they shut the first one off with 10 minutes left to go, right? But he died there. Okay, I'm stuck here. I have to get my strength back up. All of that would make sense. But my thing is that needs to be kind of established. Like, I agree with you that could be the answer, but that's nowhere in this like script.
And Jason literally had the script. He
And-
possesses the script, and so he can back that up big time.
Yeah. So
That's
just so anyone knows, because
trying to make it make sense when I was younger. People
that
that doesn't make any sense. Well, here's what I think, and here's
and I
that's just
think
my
that's
head.
No, and I think that's great headcanon.
Not
I
bad.
wish that was in
It's
this
not bad.
movie. If that was in this movie, I would like it more. Because that is an explanation of it. But unfortunately it's not.
We
But
don't explain it here. There's no explaining.
yeah. But I did, just so you guys know, I did actually have the script open in a different tab while I was watching this movie. And every time I got to a scene that was homoerotic, I stopped and I read the scene from the script, because when I watched Scream Queen, the guy who plays Jesse, sorry, I can't remember anyone's names.
Mark Patton.
Mark Patton.
Thank you, Mark Penn. Says, look, I didn't write that script. That was all there. And he actually says, hitting the dresser with my butt, that was in the script. I was curious, like, well, okay, I kind of want to see then, because he really blames the writer. He says the writer wrote a gay movie. And I believe that to a point, but I also think the director really amped it up. And so for the scene where he's dancing around, that actually it does not say in the script like he hits anything with his butt. What it says is he takes some pencils, puts it in his face like a walrus, makes some faces, and then it says like, and generally does, silly things you would do only when you're alone.
Well, maybe he read that and was like, something. Last Wednesday, I was unpacking, and I did this, so I'm going to just do it now.
Then
You're on mute, Ginny. Oh.
I heard I heard the the documentary. There's a huge Sleep No More documentary, and they kind of that's a bleed into the Scream Queen documentary. I think, is it the director or is it Mark Patton that's like, well, Risky Business had just come out, so everyone wanted the Tom Cruise sunglasses dance sequence, and they're just it's kind of a cheaper horror movie, so maybe they're like, we don't care what you do, but I gotta do something kind of fun. And he's just he's gonna be normal. He's just how do you like that, Dad? It's a little, it is childish. He's just dump. All right, that'll be a dork. I don't know. I think Mark Patton does probably do.
Come on, Jenny, you can see that. Where
yeah. Completely.
I loved it as a kid. I loved it when I was 13. I thought that was so great.
I always saw him as the discount store Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Right? Just kind of the way he looks.
This is so bad. I thought he was way cuter to me when I was younger. And also the video cover of this whole this VHS cover with him holding her scared me to pieces as a kid. Do you know why? Because it was too intimate. And I don't like that. I don't like that she was in a nightgown, a very sexy nightgown. We don't do this anymore. Oh, I don't like that. It alarmed me.
You were completely okay with the fact that on one side of his face, it's like a skeleton. The brains are holding out.
Yeah, a ghoul's okay.
And there's the Kruger. That was all cool. The murder was cool. It was the intimacy that was a bit too much.
But then and the other covers didn't have it, so I don't know. And they're always the girls in really pretty nightgowns. I just he was holding her, and he was also kind of becoming a monster. That cover is really
it's really good.
It's great. It's a great cover, but it's not
good.
for this movie. It's a weird cover for this movie. That is a little upsetting to me.
I was trying to get our background to be that, and I couldn't find a good high resolution background.
Well, look. Speaking as a 48-year-old, very hetero man, I've done some dancing in my days in my room when I was younger. I never once humped a fucking bicycle pump, though. Never.
Love that it's a bicycle pump. Didn't know that. I never. What's the pop-off thing? What's that thing?
Never one did I ever get sexual with anything in the room. So I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of shocking to see that for the first time. It's dude, that's not what I do when I'm dancing in my room.
Pick the worst song. I love that song. As a 13-year-old girl, I love that song. But you're going, well, I don't think that's a great song. Does the later series do other 80s music better? Oh, man.
Well, the third has a song written for it, right? The Dream Warriors?
Dream Warriors? Yeah.
Well, yeah, Dream Warriors. Yeah, that's. I kind
Metal.
of just feel like that's where everything kind of jumped up a notch with that, like
Yeah.
production about everything. Yeah.
That is this movie. This is where Freddy blew up.
Yep.
This is where the song came from, and you know, call Freddy on the phone tonight. Oh, you know, that shit happened based on 2 and 3, really. So, yeah,
That's right.
Hawking decides to make a Dream Warrior song, and that was it.
Yeah.
But all right, so we discussed the lore, and we can agree that this adds very little to the lore. It's very lore light, very different. I want to talk about the kills, right? So Tim, which do you think is the best kill, and what do you think is the worst kill?
Might have to come back to me.
All right,
I'm trying to
circle back.
The worst kill. I don't know. Hey, come back to me for a minute.
Should I, do you guys want me to start? What do you guys think?
I mean, I could jump in if you want. I mean, I got best, worst.
All right, go.
The
All right,
best
I'll
and best.
start with the worst kill.
Okay.
I'm going to start with the worst kill. All right.
I got
In a
worse.
movie where I count the murder of a parrot as a kill, because it is our first kill, I think the worst kill is one of the 2 nameless teens when Freddy's just on a fucking rampage.
Yes.
Because there's just nothing there. Like, they're just like, and that's it. It's just like, there's no, that's not scary. Like, I was just like, what the fuck was at the pool? Yeah. So I think either one of those interchangeable kills at the
Is
pool.
it the kid that goes, "Hey man, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this, man"? Like, I don't know what he says, but he's like, "Buddy,
I did
we
love
help
that.
you. You can trust." Like,
Calm down, man.
You try to just like talk him down.
What do you want, man? Just
so
what is it
woke.
you
I
need?
love him. He didn't deserve that.
Yeah, Jason, I'm gonna have to. I'll echo that because like that's definitely like that whole pool rampage thing. There's just a whole bunch of random kids that get killed very unmemorably. I mean, especially by the way, that one kid gets his neck snapped while people are trying to escape.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But not
That might
by
be the
Freddy?
worst.
No, not by Freddy. Somebody murdered. Somebody
that.
commits
Oh my
murder. That
God.
is not Freddy in this movie.
It got trampled.
It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a if you want a crazy party pool sequence, watch The Rage Carrie 2. Has anyone ever seen that?
I haven't.
No, I've seen the
It's like
original.
a
Carrie,
weird
and I saw the remake.
90s
Yeah.
sequel with like the kid from Home Improvements in it. It's very weird. It's good, but then there's like whole like her scene at the end is like insane. So this is like weak sauce.
I mean, best. Come on, best is. It's not.
Go ahead.
It's got to be Schneider. I mean,
You know what? I disagree. I don't think it is. I don't
really,
think it is. Yep. I
with
thought
the
Schneider was-
absurdity of the entire scene building up to that.
No, I think. All right. So I'm glad.
Put up good arguments.
Good. We don't all agree.
Okay.
I think Grady's the best kill.
Okay.
And
that's
here's
a good one.
why. This movie clearly was written and directed with homosexual undertones. Clearly they were coded as being a couple. And his murder is literally a fucking rape scene. Like he's pushed against a wall and Jesse inserts himself into him against the door while they're like pressed up against each other. It's a fucking rape scene. And because they kind of had the balls to code it that way, I give that the best kill in the movie.
Okay.
You just blew my mind. You just blew my mind.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Research paper. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's your grant money.
I'm going to speak for the Schneider murder
Please.
because it's. I think it's the best one because again of the buildup that goes into it, and there's a lot of buildup that goes into this. Like his constant infatuation with every time he sees Jesse and Grady, he has to punish them when they're not even doing anything. Besides the one time they're talking shit about him, which all right, fine, maybe they had that one coming.
Yeah.
But the other times it's just like they have to do push-ups, they have to do laps, and it goes around the clock. Apparently, like it doesn't matter. And the whole thing of Jesse having another one of his sweaty dreams again, and decides to walk in the rain to the leather bar out of nowhere, and
Yeah,
this is his thought, and then he runs into the of course. Now, when Schneider sees him there, he's punishing him for being there at like 2 a.m. What?
That makes no sense.
None of it makes any sense of this.
Why, guys? Do you have answers?
As an
I
educator,
feel like you might have more answers.
No, but
as
I mean
that
happens, and then he just he goes to his office. Like he's
Jason,
just going to work
as a teacher in school.
Yeah, like this is normal.
Man.
Yeah,
here's the thing. As an educator, I don't know how that shit was in the 80s, all right? But as an educator now, if I am at an S&M club at 2 a.m. and I see an underage student there, I duck out and hope the fuck they didn't see me. I definitely don't bring them somewhere alone where I could be,
And I thought you were like, you go to the S&M clubs all the time. We all know.
Imagine going to school Monday and be like, yo, I went into an S&M club. I saw the gym teacher. What happened? He made me do laps. What? I had to do laps at 3 a.m. What the fuck are you talking about? You did laps. Come on.
But Tim, the thing is this, though, is that Grady mentions it, that it's a known thing that he goes to this leather bar earlier when they're doing push-ups.
So is that a subconscious thing? And then he kind of like Freddy infects his brain and then he gets like transplant. That always blew my mind because it's not quite a dream. It's just weird. It's
Thank you, Ginny. Thank you, because that's another thing that happens, that nobody is dreaming when any of that happens. Nobody's sleeping.
There's no dreaming in this.
So what? And again, the fact that like Schneider ends up getting dragged by his own gym equipment, is screaming no, no, no the whole way, takes him to the shower. Then he's getting whipped with these towels so hard that he's bleeding. I mean, he's really got to be getting fucking hit hard with these damn towels for this to happen.
It
like,
must
really
be
hard.
And then Jesse does have the claw and is just like, but then what happens? I'm going to sound like a dumb butt.
The blood coming out of the
blood, but he has the claw and he screams. He has that great scream, drops the claw to the floor. Then what happens? He wakes up? What's up with that?
He is found. No, the police.
The police come home.
No, the police bring him home.
Yeah.
The next shot is him being returned to his parents in the middle of the night.
Is this your son? Yeah.
They said they found him naked. They do say they found him naked on the side of the highway. That's what they say. The police tell him his parents.
That's the police force for you. Am I right?
Yes. No problem. We're just gonna return him and make a joke.
We don't want to ask questions.
No questions.
We don't want to pursue this any further.
So I want to take a moment and just read from the script, so you can see exactly how Don's place was described and how the teacher was described. A seedy tavern on a badly lit corner. That's it. No S&M club. Nothing sexual. It just says a seedy tower on a badly lit corner. And then interior Don's place night. The toughest looking bar in the entire city. The place is packed with prostitutes, pimps, traveling salesmen, a couple of transvestites, and a generous delegation of the leather and chain contingency. So I would argue not necessarily S&M, more of like a biker bar it was written as.
Like, wow, that's elaborate.
And then, let's see. Coach Snyder is standing over him. He's wearing a muscle shirt, a gold chain around his neck, and he has a sick grin on his face. So nowhere does it say he's dressed as a fucking leather daddy.
Yeah. And a leather daddy or anything like that, yeah. Okay. So that's it?
That's it. Wow. That's the description. There's that. And in Scream Queen, I don't know if you guys remember, in Scream Queen, it is, because I've even said this yet, I'm making the case the director made this, like, really leaned into the homoerotic overtones. They actually discussed, he scouted and got the place they used, and it was, in fact, an S&M club.
So, definitely on, is it Jack Shoulder? Yeah, Jack Shoulder, the director.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I have it on the other tab. Yeah, no, this is definitely on him. If he's the one who made this choice as the director, then yeah, he really decided to maybe he's read the script and was like, you know something, there's some subtext here. I'm going to just make sure it's just text. I'm just going to fucking push this thing through. Let's go.
Or is that in a weird, I don't know if they talk about this, is this a heterosexual boy's like worst nightmare, like in a way, like to be taken advantage of. And but that's so like complex to do this. This is just like an 80s horror movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Man,
There's a lot of detail.
I heard a scenario which I wanted to throw by you guys too, because nowadays everybody's, people are shitting on movies 30 years ago, calling them this, calling them that. I heard one where how you go back and mention Freddy this movie, I don't know. Like, leave it alone. It has its own problems. I heard a gay man say that the teacher is a self-loathing gay man, hate himself for being gay, beating Jesse for being in the gay place, even though he's gay, and it's all it's not homoerotic, it's homophobic to the point. And I'm just sitting there saying, really, how do you pull that out of what we just saw? But I guess you could do that for anything. But they're saying the teacher is that he's self-loathing, hates himself, sees Jesse, beats him for thinking he's gay.
He is like punishing the boys, the two of the boys doing the push-ups, which is like one of my favorite things ever, when he's just like, you guys are talking during class, cut to push-ups, and then it's the same shot like 4 or 5 scenes later. It's really funny. But you're probably right. Like, then this, you don't know.
I know. I kind of like that idea. I'm not gonna lie. I like overthinking shit. I kind of like that idea. Like,
Tim, I can kind of see that, because maybe, and again, now the way I watched this movie this time was just like, so Jesse's obviously gay, and maybe he was like, listen, he was jealous of Jesse because Jesse's doing his thing, and he's like, damn you, laps!
You're younger, you might probably
laps. You're gonna do it. That's it. Push-ups. Damn you.
Laps.
That's all he's got. That's all he's got to hurt him with.
Well, I'm striking out tonight. Let's go do laps in the gyms. What?
Yeah, but though, the only thing that goes against that is that he's in the bar in his whole leather daddy getup thing. So obviously, it would appear that he's out and about in some way.
Still be self-loathing though, and it's just like he's a gym teacher, he's an athlete coach, like he's like,
And I also think like this is the 80s, and the trope of gym teacher in the 80s is sadist, right? Like every 80s movie, the gym teacher is sadistic. So I also think it's playing with that.
Even in Porky's, she was sadistic.
Yeah. Oh, Porky's.
Yeah.
This is very Porky's coded.
Ooh, should we go back and show how Porky's is a gay film?
I'll talk about that.
Yeah, I haven't seen Porky's in forever. I don't even remember. All I remember about it was watching it as a kid with my mother in the next room, like with my hand on the remote, because I knew I wasn't supposed to, because it was one of those movies I was told nudity could appear at any moment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's the Christmas Story director. It's insane.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It's like Black Christmas, Christmas Story, and Porky's.
That's crazy.
I associate that with HBO. Like when HBO first came about, it's like Porky's is on. Ooh, gotta stay up and watch it. No, you're not. Go to bed.
That's right.
It's like,
But I wanted to watch softcore porn. No, I don't even know if that is softcore porn.
What was with the going into the Bane voice all of a sudden? Sorry to watch softcore porn.
I wanted softcore porn. This porn will be your reckoning.
You've been doing it too much, Jason.
Doing it too much. That's all I do on Grannies. I host half the fucking show with the Bane voice.
Now it's bleeding over.
All right, so let's talk about Freddy himself before we get into like scare and comedic factors and then overall thoughts. And I'm going to toss it to you because I think you're the Freddy expert, right? Like you've like seen and done everything Freddy. Ginny, you're also the Freddy expert, but in a very different.
I mean, I'm
way.
not quite. I don't know as much as Lisa does in this movie, but
right.
But what's your opinion of the characterization of Freddy, the look of Freddy in this? Like anything Freddy, what are your thoughts?
I actually hate his look in this movie. I do, because it's different from the rest of the entire franchise. He does look more like an actual burn victim, which the reboot tried, and it just kind of doesn't really work. And one of the special features I mentioned to you, like I own the Blu-ray box set, and there's some special features on there. And one of them, the guy was talking about that they went to make him look different on purpose in this movie. They wanted him more to like look like he was kind of melting all the time, which there's a lot of things melting in this movie,
Right.
which is weird, but
So you don't play with the thermostat.
Heat. Yeah, the heat of things. Like, yeah, everything is melting.
yes, like Freddy's biggest weapon in this movie is to make it hot. And
Fire.
that's pretty much
yeah.
it.
Oh
Yep.
my
Yeah,
God.
like maybe when he was in the boiler room and stuff, he fucked with the HVAC and kept shutting it off on people, and that was like the pain
Oh
that
my
he
God.
that he inflicted. But I kind of think Freddy is like, this is probably my least favorite Freddy of the entire thing, because I kind of don't think he's very threatening in this movie for a lot of it. I mean, granted, he is trying to possess a teenager who is struggling with some stuff, but yeah, I don't think he's very threatening, because like he does that. His only threat with Jesse really is, again, keeps making him wake up sweaty and going and seeing him. And that's it, though. That's all he does. He sees him in the boiler room. He sees him and like rips over the whole "you got the body, I got the brains" thing. And
But he's not like making steps melt or anything.
No.
Like, super cool.
no, he's making like his baseball helmet melt in his fucking room. Like it's kind of weak. And then when he finally rips out of him and like like the body and everything like that, and he's running around the whole. Look at what Freddy does. He goes and he like knocks stuff off a shelf, and he like dances around a little
Like
bit
a
after.
cat.
Yeah, like leaves,
Meow, bitch.
yeah, like he does this like half-hearted thing at Lisa, and then yes, he finally starts like killing a couple of people in the pool party scene. But like also, he sees the parents with the shotgun and just leaves. He just vanishes into fucking thin air. It's like, something. I'm sorry, I woke up the parents. My bad. I'm off to the power plant.
no.
I gotta get out of here. And he just walks and vanishes. It's so weird, and he makes hot dogs explode in that whole thing. Like Freddy's not. I don't
He's
know.
like a prankster.
Yeah, he's kind of.
It's very like a yeah.
He's kind of a bitch in this movie, to tell the truth. I mean,
What you're saying is this whole movie is gay undertones, and don't touch the thermostat because it's too hot in here. That's it.
That's right.
yes, don't
hot.
touch. Yes, because Freddy's not going to invade your dreams. He's going to try to possess you and make you uncomfortably hot.
Yes,
That's what he's going to do.
I have a theory that Freddy is what made this gay because he made everything flaming.
Bazinga. Well done. Well done. I like that.
Boo this man. Boo.
All right, Ginny, while you're booing me.
I'm sorry. Also,
Come on, that was good.
that's great. This is so good. The Freddy, I like though. Like, is it weird that he has the like gosh darn it, what is it? Like a warehouse? What is that they go to? And they're like, this is where it's not the boiler room.
They say it was like a nuclear power plant.
Yeah, what the hell is
Oh,
that
the
about?
power plant,
though?
right?
That's not
Again-
a thing.
But again, that breaks away from the lore. Again, like,
Yeah,
when
it's
does
not
that
the
ever
lore.
happen? Maybe Freddy had a second job working in the power plant. He got to
Yeah.
work multiple jobs, and that's why he
It's the
went
biggest-
crazy.
They're probably
Oh
like,
my
the
God.
boiler room's a boiler room. Who cares? Just throw him in a boiler room so it looks like a boiler room. Who cares?
Boiler room, nuclear power plant. No, but they say, but I'm saying Lisa, who knows everything about Freddy now at some point, because she went to the
Sure.
library and read up on him. Like, he worked, she says he works in this nuclear power plant and then just randomly decides to go there at the end of the movie.
I don't buy that. I don't subscribe to that lore. I just don't.
It's horseshit.
I
That's
like
why you
this
don't.
movie. I just
Yeah.
don't. I can't do that. Maybe.
I don't know, Jenny. I think we're starting to poke some holes through this. I think you're
Oh
starting, to, doubt,
no.
you're starting to doubt yourself now. I don't know.
I don't know.
Tim, what about you? What are your thoughts on this Freddy?
At the time, I mean, you know why? Because so many great iconic lines came out of it. Like I said, they made a whole song about most of the lines from this movie with Will Smith in them. But yeah, no, I agree with Ed though. I don't like the look. And again, this is the one where like Carolyn is she's scared of this franchise. She's seen one, turned her off of horror movies forever. But now,
she should.
when I told her I was doing this show, I said, you have to watch 2. She said, I'm never going to watch those movies. Those scared to show. I said, no. This is not scary. This is not scary at all. I'm gonna try to get her to watch this movie, by the way, and I'll let you know what happens. But yeah, I agree with that. There's really no threat. The brain thing was cool. You know, "You're All My Children" now was a great shot. Just a great shot film wise. Other than that, he really wasn't, I don't know, threatening to me at all. This is where he became, he's funny. He's funny, Freddy. He's not really, scary Freddy anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I would say he's not even that funny in this movie. I actually did write it down. When the guy who tries the best moment in the movie, when the guy's like, "Hey man, can I help you calm down?" He literally says, "Help yourself, fucker."
Yes.
It's like, come on, that could have been more clever. That could have been better.
Yeah, Freddy. Well, he's not. He's a bit off in this movie. I mean, in a lot of ways.
But yeah, I didn't like this Freddy at all. I agree. I don't really like the look, and I just don't think he has much to do. Like in the first one, he's so menacing, he's so scary, and in this one, it's just, But I'm going to say this. I don't dislike this movie. I think, and I texted you and Rick this. I'm going to propose this. I think this movie, if you took Freddy out of this movie, and this was not in the Nightmare on Elm Street canon at all, and it was a movie about like a fucking demon that is able to take over the bodies of teenagers who were in the closet because the conflict of the internal conflict gives them issues, and it gets in them and it makes them do terrible things. And instead of ending with, "I'm gonna get some straight pussy sex and I'm cured," which is how this movie ends, he has to come out of the closet to unburden himself. Much better movie. It would be a fucking cult classic if that's what this movie was.
Yes, Your Honor. I say yes.
Yeah, Jason, I don't know. I think you're trying to explain it away like you did with Halloween 3. Like, it's in the franchise, but you're removing it out of the franchise. This movie has Freddy Krueger appearing in it, though.
No. What I'm saying is
this.
I'm saying that the premise of this movie is not terrible. But it's a terrible Freddy movie.
Yeah. No, and I agree with you. Like, all jokes aside, this movie, the reason why I dislike this movie so much is because, again, it fouls up the lore that was set up everything that was set up in the first movie gets thrown out the window. Besides Freddy Krueger existing, that's it. Like he exists. Yeah. Everything else, everything that was set up, they just threw it out the window. And then after this didn't work out, then someone found it again. It was like, wait, let's just bring it back in. And let's just get back to that. Let's just pretend none of that ever happened. We're not doing possession. We're not doing anything else. Let's get things back on track. He actually invades people's dreams. He is threatening, but let's take it to another fucking level. Like, let's just go through the roof now.
Well, like you said, where is Freddy at his best? In dreams. There's no dreaming in this movie. So that's where you completely lose it.
I mean, but think about it. No, you're right, Tim. And I thought about this because way down the line, and this movie is canon, but like, when he fights Jason, right? When Freddy gets pulled into the real world, not particularly threatening like anymore. Like, yes, he has razors on his fucking hand, and that is not good. But like, you can take him. Like, it's possible.
He has some sweet moves though. The knee and all that stuff. He held his own for 5 seconds.
Well, I'm gonna try to save it for that, but I will attest his somewhat martial arts moves in that movie to what happened in 4 when he took out what's his face in 4 with the martial. There you go. So he learned a little bit.
Yep.
I can't wait for 4 because that's one of my favorite scenes ever.
I love 4 so much.
4 is a good one.
By the way, we didn't talk about the parents.
Let's do it. Let's get into
how incompetent the fucking parents are again in this movie, especially the father, who, after seeing his bird explode and turn on fire, sees his son returned naked by the cops at, like, I don't know, we kept saying 2 a.m. it started. So let's say at 4 a.m. he returned home. And in the middle of the pouring rain, he sees the toaster go on fire. It's like, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. No, I don't think it is, my friend.
Dude, that's not the craziest thing you've seen this hour. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Did you forget everything else that happened? like your son,
the stress of moving. They just moved to a new town. Things are gonna be a little complicated. I think
it's home naked. no big deal. You know, birds
Nah,
explode.
Big deal.
Toaster.
No,
Holy
no.
shit! The toaster.
the toaster's on fire.
Knock it
That's
off.
That's the most realistic thing out of the three things I brought
Your
up.
parents don't tell you to like knock it off and just start blaming you. Like, you know, I think it's a very 80s parent thing to do.
Don't touch the thermos. This is all about dads. Don't touch the thermostat.
Don't. That's what this movie's about. I got it now. I got it. This movie is a fucking fever dream by Jesse because he fucked with the thermostat at the beginning of this movie, and it was so hot.
Yep.
And the end of this movie, when he's getting the sex and it's getting the gay out, no, that's just his dad outside turning down the thermostat. He's going back to normal. This whole dream's a movie. That's why Freddy could walk around.
Boiler room, thermostat, coincidence? I think not. I think
It's melting. It's that's it.
Right?
It's all about the thermostat.
Right?
This is made by a bunch of dads saying, "Kids, don't touch the thermostat."
queer. You throw that queer coded analysis out of here, Jason. You throw in the dad thermostat theory.
This is about the
into this
thermostats, all
movie.
right?
Fixed it.
So, by the way, another thing too is that scene where his mother is talking to the father when he's outside trying to take down the bars from the windows and stuff, and he like an idiot, he falls off the damn ladder. She mentions to him, you know something? I think he has some problems. Maybe he should see a psychiatrist or something. Like maybe he should seek like some help for what's going on. And he just totally shuts it down. He's like, yeah, he needs to get smacked around. Like
That's
fuck
like
all
was
of
my
that.
dad though growing up, was just literally like, grow up. I gotta do some
Yes.
yard work.
Yeah. Fuck all this
That's
that's
a very
happening.
80s dad thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very dad's back.
That's a very 80s dad.
I just thought it was funny
Yeah.
though. Like again, looking
It's
back.
great.
on it,
Your
it's
dog's
like, wait,
dead. Which side you want? I'll let you choose.
But like, you know something, the mother was she could have maybe solved this whole thing, but they're like, nah, we don't need that.
You're also like, you can go off with a girl. It's good for you. Like, we don't have to worry about this, right? No.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. Anything else anything we haven't touched on? You guys want to touch on?
By the way, in the leather bar,
Oh, let's go.
Bartender.
Oh, Ed's ready.
Great.
Ed's got it.
no, the bartender. Did you not notice who it was?
I didn't. Who was
I don't recall.
who was it?
Oh my god. It was Robert Shea, the producer.
I think I tried to like block that scene out. Ah, Robert Shea.
I didn't.
Yes,
I
it was
didn't-
Robert Shea. He was the
didn't even realize
producer.
it.
You know, the one who had no idea that any of this was going on. But apparently
He
he
knew.
put on S&M stuff and played the fucking
Lies.
bartender. You didn't know anything was going on? Come on. Stop.
Gosh.
No.
He's got like
Get
a
outta
whip
here.
in his hand. He's like, all
Yeah.
right, guys, ready to do my cameo.
I would
I'm gonna
bet
say
that
this.
he's the guy who was like, this is the bar we need to use.
I would not be surprised. I'm going to say this: to determine whose fault it is that this has all the homoerotic undertones, everyone but the actors, right? Because I'm not going to blame the guy who plays Jesse, because as he says, right, no director told me different. They went, great, that's great. It's in the can. It's done. Ginny, you're an actress. If a director tells you something's in the can, it's done. Do you go, no, wait, I think that's too gay?
No. You go,
No.
I did what
Right.
I did, and you liked it.
You're told by the director this is good. So because and I make this case because for anyone who watched Scream Queen, this movie ruined this poor guy's life. I mean, he could not get work after this because he was blamed for making it a gay movie. When that's ridiculous. Just read the script; it's all there. Not all, but like the lines are there, and then watch it, and you'll see what the director did. But yeah, no, I mean, this guy you cannot blame the actors, as bad as they might have been, for the heat this movie
They
took.
talk, and they even like in I think that documentary they talked about Robert Englund being like, because he was so like, he's in the rest of the series, he's like very good with the like women, like he's very like, yeah, I like love that about him, where he's like intimate and like kind of like, sinister and like sexual with the girls. But he kind of does that with him in this movie, and they say that where he's like, I've got my claw.
Yes,
Like, I got your mouth. I'm going to put my claw in your mouth. And then, like, a camera guy was like, don't let him do that because it looks like you're filleting him. And he's like, oh, okay, so no. And they don't do that. But, like, Robert Englund was like, yeah, it'll be great. Like, I'll just kind of, like, play with you. Because that's just, like, a sinister, weird thing to do. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe Robert Englund's the coolest man ever. So I love him.
he is.
I kind of, well, I mean, are we going to just, are we getting to discussing who's at fault?
Yeah. Let's do it, and then we'll go around and add anything in our notes we want to talk about, and then we'll adjourn.
Yeah, because I got a couple of things in the notes regarding the ending of this too.
I do too.
I kind of think the way I was really trying to figure out like who gets the most wins. I picture the like Spider-Man pointing meme between Mark Patton, the director, and the writer.
Yeah.
I think all three of them play a hand in this. And like Ginny, like you had mentioned, is that I remember that quote from Robert Englund about the whole blade and everything like that in his mouth. And I also think the dude who played Grady even said that he read it and was like, yes, obviously. We all fucking knew. And I think that they were having fun, like fucking around a little bit.
Yeah.
We're like, let's see how far we can push this thing. And none of them want to fess up to it, but I think they all.
I think Mark Patton was like genuinely a closeted gay man in 80s Hollywood. So he couldn't like joke or be like funny about it. He was probably like, I want to play it straight. I'm just like I'm Brad Pitt. Like I want to be Brad Pitt. And it's like, oh no. But they were all kind of like, oh, we're having fun. I think
and they said that they were casting him. The idea of Jesse was supposed to kind of be like Glenn from the first movie.
Yes.
That was what they envisioned when they cast him and stuff. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I haven't seen Mark Patton's other work, so I don't know if he's
like a baby. He is so like he's like.
Can he play straight or not? Like I don't really know.
I don't know.
But he's like a young well. I think he's like a 15-year-old boy well, and he's like 24.
But I think regardless if he can or can't, they cast him and like they
it's not his fault.
Rein in his performance. Like I don't think like I think if they sat him down and were like, hey, you know what, we recorded you jerking off with the bike thing. That's cool. We got that. But could we try it other ways just to see like I mean I don't know, so, like someone greenlit this performance and then sent it to the editor and the editor then prioritized this over like there's just so many things, so many like rivets you have to go through or steps you have to go through. Like I don't know.
Well, who picked the song? That's a
great song, guys. It's a great 80s to me.
I'm not knocking the song for the 80s.
No, that's a good point.
I'm saying.
No, but it's not like old time rock and roll from Risky Business.
Right. Take that song out. You put on Twisted Sister. He's not dancing like that to I Want to Rock.
Literally, it truly is. Yeah.
That's the song. I Want to Rock, pop, and then he just does
that's the song they gave me. Yep. Like, well, how do I dance to this song? I gotta get with it. Sorry, but I do. Yeah. if it's Iron Maiden, he's gonna be thrashing around the house, Like
they do that. They do like Dramarama, they do punk music, like Goo Goo Dolls in the 90s. It's so crazy that they just like. I like a great 80s club dance mix. That is Touch Me All Night Long. From this movie.
No, I guarantee 100% I'm listening to this on the subway tomorrow. Crazy, touch me all night long. I'm in. Come on. It's
but
great.
If you start bumping against like the pole or something like that, then I don't know.
Unironically listen to it. Oh my gosh. Full to it on the pole.
Tim, you have anything to add for
I think now that you read the part of that script, I'm thinking, like, I think they were just trying to one up each other. So that script doesn't say anything about S2E2. It's like, you know what? That sounds a little gay. Let's make it a lot gay. It's like, you think that's gay? We're going to whip this guy's ass in the shower. Oh, really?
You want to see gay? I'll show you gay.
And you completely blew my mind with the rape. I never considered Grady a rape scene. Now, it is a rape scene. And it's like, oh, whipping someone's ass in the shower, huh? We're gonna rape the next guy. It's like what's going on? It's kind of like one-upping each other. That's what it seems like now.
It's like, was that gay enough? No, hold my beer.
Exactly.
I'm gonna make it gayer. Let's go.
Wait till we shoot that next scene.
Oh.
If this movie was 20 more minutes, who knows where the hell it would have went? Who knows where the hell we would have gone?
You don't want to know.
Real quick, I didn't get to mention because I wasn't on last week, but I don't know about you guys, but back in the day, pre-internet, I know some of you don't understand what that word means. Pre-internet, you know how long I had a fight with people that Robert Englund was Freddy Krueger because nobody believed it? I'm like, dude, Willie from V is
Why? Because he looks so different. Because
nobody expected Willie from V to be Freddy Krueger. I don't know about you guys. I had arguments with people. I'm like, dude, that's Freddy Krueger. No, it's not. That's not Freddy Krueger. I'm like, dude, it's fucking Freddy Krueger. And finally, internet age and all that kind of stuff came along. Thank God. But
I told the story last week that my mother or father pointed it out to me when we were watching V. They're like, oh, that's the guy who plays Freddy Krueger. And I was like, what? No. No way.
So yeah, other than that, no, I'm good. But yeah, that was my thing when I had a fight with people over Willie being Freddy Krueger. Just nobody bought it.
That's hysterical. You know what? Robert Englund's a guy. I want to deep dive on a personal level, just his work.
I will. I'll join you right now, man. Let's go.
He's in Zombie Strippers later on.
Seen it. Ready to go. Love him.
Although I will say that.
Good, Jason. Good. Sorry.
The Mangler is a movie that I almost walked out on. Not did what I talked with like last week on Granny's. I told Ed when we were watching The Crow. The only thing that kept me from getting up and walking around and playing a video game and using the bathroom for 20 minutes was the fact that he was sitting next to me and like we were reviewing the movie together. And Ed was like, but you wouldn't have just walked out? And I went, no, that would be irresponsible. And I did pay, I would have paid for the ticket, right, if you weren't here. But I actually saw The Mangler and I almost like legit just fucking walked out because I saw it in the theater and I was like at the Elmwood when it existed and I was like, God, I paid for it. So some of those Robert Englund movies are kind of hard.
Not good. Oh yeah, but, man, you have to watch if you want to watch something really weird and bizarre. Dance Macabre. It's so weird. It is about a ballet studio. Robert Englund's in it. Plays two different characters. Kind of like an Italian murder mystery giallo. It's so weird, man. I love it. It's so weird, though. It's so weird.
Oh, all right. So, the only thing I want to mention was I actually thought the melting room was cool. That image of the record melting against the dresser, I thought looked really cool, and just like watching everything melt in this room, I thought was creepy. And so I wanted to end off saying a positive thing about this movie. And that is my positive thing, is I thought there were some visuals, in particular the record, that was really good.
It's a good dream sequence, I feel like he came into the real world a little bit too much. So I want my surreal dream stuff. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And that's one of Robert Englund's criticisms of this film is the too much Freddy in the real world.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
Yeah, well, we don't need him in the real world.
True. No. Why? Yeah. Why?
We've had
Freddy versus Jason until Freddy versus Jason.
Yes. Now that's different because it's. I mean, I don't know. When Freddy gets a hold of Jason in the dream world, is also fucking spectacular. But
yeah. No, but I got a fun fact.
I can't wait for that movie. I love that movie.
You have to bring in Star Wars.
Go for it.
Yeah. Mark Hamill was sleeping on Robert Englund's couch when he auditioned for Star Wars.
That's what I'd like to hear.
Fucking nice.
Robert Englund's like, you better go to that audition. He was like, I don't know, maybe.
Oh my god.
So Robert Englund is responsible for Luke Skywalker. I'm just saying, you can bring it all around the nice little package if you want.
That feels right to me. Mark Hamill and Robert Englund packages.
I now want a one-act play of Robert Englund and Mark Hamill being friends when they were younger. Like talking about getting gigs and shit, like sleeping on each other's couch. I want that. So I just the fact that those two were friends makes me happy.
The 70s. Think about it.
That's pretty cool.
Right.
Okay.
All right, any closing thoughts? All right. Yeah. You know what? You get Ginny. Do you have closing thoughts? Like, because we'll get them all out, and then we'll
gets kissed.
Let Ed run until the end.
Freddie gets the homosexuality kissed out of him, I guess, in the end. I like that he gets kissed.
Damn it, Ginny, that's what I was getting to.
I love a Freddie kiss.
Damn it, that's what I was getting to.
Sorry.
Was it really? I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I initiated it. You talk about it.
Well, it's just the fact that, like, the sex scene in the cabana thing comes completely out of left field, right? Like, right? We all agree that there's no sexual tension between these two until randomly.
It's a little hardcore, yeah.
Yeah, and it's right. No, like they just went from like first kiss. That's it. They're all in, and then he gets possessed. And say what you will regarding the symbolism of what that whole thing is that like he's about to have sex with a girl, and then it's just like, oh no, the thing inside me is coming out again, blah blah blah. And then we don't really see any. Well, there's the pool scene happens, yada yada. Then all of a sudden, she goes to the power plant at the end, and then we see the weird dogs with the faces.
I know that's pretty.
Yeah, that's
bizarre, and also not threatening, just really weird.
Don't make sense.
Doesn't make any fucking sense, which a lot of things don't. And then we get the end of the movie, where you're right, like Jason had mentioned, it equated to like a super kiss again. Like we're almost going back to fucking Superman 2 again, where wait, I'm gonna defeat him by kissing him and getting him out, and his eye is sticking out of his like throat and everything. You can see him in there, like it's so weird. So then she kisses him, and then he just melts away.
He's also like fighting it too. He's like, I got my claw, and she's like,
what is that? This goes back to the other argument.
Yeah.
Do what they're saying? Gay is bad, heterosexual good, man kiss woman, everything's okay.
Stop fighting it. Stop fighting it, man.
Gay away. Wow, I'm convinced.
Tim, I'm with you.
Yeah,
that's him. I'm with you.
This is an analogy for gay conversion therapy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And he just pushes her off him, and he's like, no.
Yeah, it's so fucking weird. And then all of a sudden, the end of the movie, when we're back on the bus again, and then Freddy, like, does he possess her friend and rips out of her?
I do. I know. I like a good fake. It's so bad. The effects are so bad. I love it.
The end of the first one, you don't know what happened at the end. Like, it's just like, let's just throw this in there because we don't know how to end the movie.
Yeah, and it is. It's true. Like, and the first one's a classic, but we did bag on the ending of the movie because it really is like
the ending of that first movie
non-committal of whatever the fuck happens, and it's only like the last 10 seconds. But like this movie repeats the same problem as the first one.
It really does. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's I don't know. It's another thing that just like pissed me off. There's a lot of things that pissed me off. This movie.
All right. What else, Ed? Keep going. Get it out. This is our Freddy 2 therapy.
Can I just say also, there's a line that's like one of my favorite lines in any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It's so stupid. They're like, "Hey Grady, what are you doing this weekend?" And he's like, I can't hang out with you. I'm grounded."
Yeah.
And then and he's eating food and he's like, I'm grounded. And he goes, well, like, why? And he goes, I pushed my grandma down a flight of stairs. He says
and no one questions that at all.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, Grady. Oh, sweet Grady.
Oh, Grady, you killed your grandmother. Damn it.
That Grady is so funny.
Yeah.
Is that in the script? I have to ask because I think the actor was just like, push my grandma down first. Like,
well, I want to know more about the Grady eating thing. Like, what is going on there, man?
You think Grady got cast because he kind of looks like Rod from the first one?
Yeah.
Because when I saw it, I was like, they kind of look alike. Dark skin.
They do. 100%. 1,000,000%. I love this 80s.
I'm going to check the script.
Does he say I pushed my grandma down a flight of stairs? Which is what I've heard. And me and my sister
I'm going to check.
Like, did he
That's
just
totally
say...
what he says. He does.
I miss. Why do you have this script? Where did that come from?
Anyone could get it. I Googled it. Dude, this is a teacher thing, man. I just Google free PDF of whatever I need. And like this came up in like several different places. So I brought it up in 2 places to verify I was working with the correct script. And then I kept one up on one tab while I was watching. That's all. Anyone.
I thought you genuinely went out.
Look, I want to say this
to find this script. Like, I have this.
This is the kind of shit I would do if I taught film school, if I taught in film school, or if I got to teach a film class in school, like not in high school, I couldn't do this in high school, but like for college, I'd be like, watch this and read these articles. And the project is to write a defense of who made this homoerotic. Like everything we just discussed now, that would be a project I did in school. So
assess this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Anything else before we get to final thoughts? Nightmares, Dreamscapes.
Yeah. I think I've gotten most of it out.
You're good, Ed. You're good. You got anything else?
I'm revving up for the finish now.
All right. So Ed, you want to start or end?
I'll start.
All right, you start.
whatever. It's got to go. This is not, after as much as I bagged on this movie, I don't think it's the worst of the franchise. And we'll see. I mean, I haven't rewatched these movies until like Tim, did you join in on that marathon when we watched 1 through 6 in one day?
No, I was there. For
yes, Ginny. That's what we did. Me and some friends actually got in my house and we watched 1 through 6.
Heaven. That sounds great.
I had Freddy's fucking laugh in my head for like 3 months. I was just start hearing it out of nowhere.
Was that recent or when you lived on Underdog? We did that.
No, this was when where was it? It was up the hill by your old house and stuff.
I think it was.
You were people in and out of some of the movies and stuff.
I think it was just like 3 and 4 or 3 and 5. I think
so. I don't think it's the worst of it. I just think it's the 5. From what I recall of 5, it does kind of stick to the lore and tries to build on it. And this one, I think that's my biggest issue with this movie is the fact that the whole possession thing doesn't work for me. A lot of the things, the teenagers aren't interesting. Which after this, they start getting more individual characters, like, when he starts fucking with their dreams and stuff. All of that's absent here. Freddy's not threatening whatsoever in this movie. I don't know. And there's a lot of just really nonsensical shit that happens in it. Like the whole bird exploding it happens for no reason. There's just a lot of shit that doesn't work for it. And having said that, I still think 5. Right now, 5 is definitely still worse than this. This movie has a script. 5, right. They admitted, and if you watch Never Sleep Again, the documentary, they actually say that 5 started shooting with no script.
That's always a mistake.
They just started. They were like, no, we have to jump on 4 because 4 was so good and making so much money. Get this movie out, and the director's like, I don't know what we're doing. What's going on here? So,
agree. I will say, I think also because I used to watch this movie, I'd fall asleep to this. I put the DVD or VHS in.
Which I'm fascinated by the way.
I'd have, yes, of course. I had a VHS player when I was in 20 years ago.
No, the fact that you have mentioned numerous times that you have fallen asleep to Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I gotta admit it, I don't even do that.
I did. Because also the VHS would just you'd be done by it and the DVD player would be whatever. But at least this movie is a lot of 80s comfort. It's not, none of the good stuff happens to the end and you're asleep by then. So it's just 80s weird conversations of fashion, which is very soothing to me. And it's a little bit like 1, 2, 5 actually I can fall asleep to because that's pretty just like best friends hanging out for a while. And then
just a hangout movie.
I love it.
Awesome. Tim, what about you? Nightmare or Dreamscape here?
Oh, thank God for 3 because it completely saved this franchise. That's all I'm going to say. But no, I think we broke it. I think we officially broke the molest. This is not just homoerotic; it's homophobic at its deepest core. I think we've broken that. And back in the day, I remember thinking, well, this is not as good as the first one, but you still watched it religiously because, before the undertones really set in and made you uncomfortable. You're like, oh, this is, the dancing was ridiculous. But again, change the song, completely different scene. Because no dude is dancing that way to another song. That's just the way you got to say it. Whoever picked the song, his fault. I don't blame you, Jesse, whatever your name is. I don't blame you at all. This is just
dance how you're supposed to dance.
This was just how gay we can get it. That's all this movie was. Who can get the gayer scene in there? And we all lost by it. So
awesome. All right. So I'll say this. I did like this movie. I think I was correct in my prediction. I think this is a fun movie. It's a shitty Freddy movie. That's it. Because, what's for me, as I said, what's interesting about the Freddy movies is the lore, and this has nothing to do with the lore. And it's not scary. I'm glad I'm rewatching these movies now for this show because I told you I was so terrified of these movies as a kid. And then every time I rewatch them, it'd always be like that kid inside of me going, but isn't this a bit scary? And now I'm rewatching it, analyzing it. I'm going, well, Yeah, the first one is, but this one, man, why was I scared? I could have watched this one as a kid. There's nothing scary about it, but I think it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely interesting. But I'll tell you this though: remove the homosexual stuff, and this is fucking boring as shit. Like as much as it got flack for it at the time, and it ruined Jesse's career, and all this terrible shit happens, you remove that, and we're talking about just another boring fucking horror movie that didn't work. This is a horror movie that didn't work, but it's not boring.
It's got character. It has some character depth. There's like some I don't know, like
as much as I was bagging on it, I didn't use the word boring. I've said I didn't say that at all. It definitely is not
keeps
boring.
you on your toes.
Marathon wise, you don't skip it. And like
no.
You could say Halloween. I ain't watching 3. The 3 has nothing to do with anything. But you're not going to skip 2 just because of it. Yes, Jason, I said it.
Clutching my pearls.
You can watch Halloween 3 all you want, just not in America with the rest of it.
All right, fair enough. All right, so I guess that is it. I think the majority of us say that this was a worth a watch, at least, even if it's not good. It's worth a watch. Definitely fun.
You can skip it if you want to, but I love it. I think it's so good. It's a cult movie.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you're going to do a marathon, or if you're doing this whole thing with us, I don't think you should skip it, just because I do think that it's interesting to see how the sequels build upon the concept of the larger dream sequence thing that I mentioned in the beginning of this.
Absolutely, and that's why that was one of the reasons I wanted to do this sequence, this franchise for this, because it really does build off each other, and it's really interesting to see how it evolves from the almost cheap independent movie that Nightmare on Elm Street was to, I would say when we get to Freddy's Dead, that's like a cartoon, and then we get into other weird shit. So just the evolution of this franchise is insane.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank Ginny, Ed, and Tim for joining me on this exploration through the nightmares and dreamscapes of A Nightmare on Elm Street. If you like the show, please subscribe, like, anything you need to do. The socials. Come on. I'm an old man. You guys know what to do. You could join us in 2 weeks. We'll be back in 2 weeks with A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. I'm trying to get my wife back on for that one. She wouldn't do this one, but I'm going to try to get back on for at least that one, because I really do think she'll like that one. And Tim, you're more than welcome to join us. Ed, would you want to plug a little Granny's Peach Tea before we go?
Yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday night discussing The Crow 1994. Yes, 1994. No, Ginny, we already.
I thought you said the new one. I was like,
no. We already did that.
Ah.
No, we already did that, and Jason and I found a way to rediscover anger that was a week old and bring it back.
Yeah,
just like that.
I watched the thing you posted, and I'm like, I'm never gonna watch this movie now.
I know.
A pitch meeting.
Pitch me. I watched that. I was like, nope, never watching this movie now.
Yeah, but I've always found pitch meeting a lot funny when you've seen what they're mocking. And Jason, kudos to me and you, because versus pitch meeting, we nailed about 90-something% of the jokes that were in there, and we didn't even watch it yet. So we actually beat pitch meeting to it. And we'll be talking about the latest episode of Kite Man. Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! That's it. We got a light show on Tuesday, actually, but no, those are the two we're talking about.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's a light show on Tuesday. Tim, you got anything to plug while you're here?
If you like wrestling, with Just Your Sweet Show, we have no set day anymore. We're all over the place. Eric is having a contract dispute with Steve Srirachi. I hope they get that settled soon. But I got Dave and Anthony with me all the time. And on Sportsman Icon, if you like sports, we've been rocking that out lately. Football's back, so check us out.
All right. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you. Hopefully we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And pleasant dreams, bitch.